G'day guys, in today's video I'm having a little bit of a rant about the technical aspects of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Personally I'm not really much of a Pokemon fan, well, was a Pokemon fan of Gen 1 and Gen 2, a little bit of Gen 3 after that. I have very little interest in the franchise. My wife is a big fan of it, thus I got her this. She played Pokemon Arceus before that, which I also purchased for her. Pokemon Arceus was a good little change. The 3D aspect of it was let down by the power of the Nintendo Switch being essentially a nearly 4 or 5 year old Tegra chip now. It is quite old, where my Samsung Galaxy S21, S22 will easily have more power than that particular device. But some of the aspects of that were quite neat. How you didn't actually have to have a fight every time you want to catch a Pokemon. That was pretty neat. Throw the Pokeball, slight chance you'll catch it. Great, brilliant, no battle aspect. It was also cool that you could run around the combat or run around the battle while it was going on, and also other Pokemon can get involved. All of which is not really here. So with that aspect of things being missing, what do we actually get? So instead we get a very underwhelming frame rate. We get a world where you throw a Pokeball, the camera zooms under the ground and proceeds to degenerate everything, and then has to regenerate the whole world while you're capturing that Pokemon, which definitely does not look nice at all. I have never seen frame rate pop. I've seen pop in of textures as you're running across a game. You'll see a tree in the distance, you'll see it get more detailed, and then you'll see it in full detail, or you just see it suddenly just go bam out of the ground and it's there. Where I'm seeing the frame rate happen in certain layers of the game. Certain distances from the player, you'll see Pokemon in a very far distance, if you see them at all, and I'll have 3 frames of animation. You'll see a bird flapping its wings and it goes from up to across to down, and that's its animation cycle. You'll see people that are a block and a half away from you, and they're barely having 10 frames of animation. It just looks hideous, it looks underpowered. I see that as potentially Game Freak trying to extract as much power to maintain a 30 FPS frame rate from the Switch, which Arceus led me to believe that, damn, this game would look much better on a more powerful console. And Pokemon Scarlet has me saying that even more, especially when they take out the aspects that made it a bit more exciting, a bit more unique. You can't just throw a Pokeball and capture a Pokemon now. That seems to be removed. That was encountered in the first few minutes of the game. The frame rate or NPCs just randomly teleporting and disappearing and then reappearing and stuck in loops, walking on the spot. The other one that I've seen is when my wife's been using the main legendary on the front cover and using it to jump over a small wall. Instead, it just tilts straight down and gets stuck there, and then stuck in a falling animation. It won't even jump over a small brick wall, which you can tell from the height of your leap that you can easily clear. Instead, you're just getting stuck on it. It reminds me of Final Fantasy, I think it was Final Fantasy 15, where you could see small guardrails, but you couldn't jump over them. You had to walk around them. It's like they wanted to go full 3D world, but didn't. The other thing that I can't actually really look at the game. It just looks too hideous on a 70-inch TV. The other aspect is the frame rate of the map in the bottom right-hand corner. So while my wife's running around, playing the game, looking around, I see her rotating at 30 FPS. The map sits there ticking away, rotating at what feels like 10 FPS. The disconnection of the frame rates of everything seems to be absolutely terrible. The other thing is fallen through the world a couple of times, seen that so far. The other one was hovering on a Pokemon that didn't exist. She got into a battle while riding this. The animation had her still sitting on it, but the Pokemon just disappeared. The other thing is regarding combat, we're back to Gen 1 level of combat where you fight one Pokemon at a time, it seems. Where my wife was saying with Arceus that multiple Pokemon will get involved in a fight if you're fighting one of their kind. That's never going to happen. You fight one, all the other Pokemon disappear. She was saying while she was playing, she saw one particular Pokemon she wanted to capture, nearly got to it, another Pokemon hit her, battle encounter happened, and after the battle, it reset all the Pokemon in her area. The one she was chasing was completely gone. So it's like the game cannot actually remember what Pokemon it spawned in that area when you get into a battle. I'm finding it very underwhelming, very challenging to look at. So on that 70-inch TV, looking at the mountains in the distance, the level of jaggies there is huge. That combined with the frame rate, the frame pop in, the texture pop in, the map running at a different frame rate to the game, I honestly can't stand looking at it. It looks hideous. So far, it's looking pretty bad. I'm not sure if it's Game Freak being lazy with their #1 franchise in the world budget, or if it's just that the Nintendo Switch is way beyond its time. The other aspect on that, you've got one of the largest, if not one of the largest, gaming franchise or franchises in the world in general, in entertainment. And you cannot still afford voice acting. I've seen voice acting since the PS2, PS3 era in virtually every game, apart from Nintendo and Pokemon. They seem to get a free pass every time. Come on, it's 2022. I think you can afford to pay your cartoon voice actors to voice act at least some of your game. Overall, not a fan. Many technical problems, many hang-ups I've had from past Pokemon games. You can do better.